Well, I mean, the solutions to me is, you have to put more money into the small business. I mean, small business is the backbone of the economy. It always has been. I mean, we're talking, I think it's like 45% of the economy is driven by small business. And so you have to really look at programs that's going to help small businesses grow. And when those small businesses grow, more money's put into the economy, and that's how everything grows from the bottom up, really.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Hey, we're just about into September, the quarter of crashes, so it's appropriate that we talk to Herman DeBoard. Herman, you're Air Force veteran and currently working towards the goal of connecting the world like never before. We appreciate you coming on. And we're going to be talking about the flaws of the current occupant of the White House, so-called Bidenomics, where it's gone wrong, and how it's hurting small business. Herman, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So Bidenomics, what exactly is it? Because I don't really know what it is.
Well, I mean, what it seems like is it's a program that's helping larger businesses. They're actually putting money into larger businesses, but it's killing the small businesses. I've been starting businesses since 2005. This is my fourth business that I've started. I've exited the other three. And so it was much easier when I was doing this earlier. And now inflation, and I mean, it says Bidenomics, but to me, it's just an inflation tool that's just killing us, from manufacturing to employee charges to, trying to find credit for different things for your business. It's just gotten way out of hand for the small business.
So it's death by 1,000 cuts, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, we have independent contractors. Half of our business is the service business. Half of our business is manufacturing with different things like fiber optics. And so if we're in the service side, we have to look at, how much are we paying our employees? How much are we paying our contractors? Because they have to survive in this an economy that is obviously failing. And then from the manufacturing side, it takes a lot of money to get things manufactured and get them into different clients. And so even that has been very, very difficult to not only find products, but to find the credit you need to get those things going.
Right. Yeah, the credit crunch now that's taking place due to the banking crisis is kind of the final death knell. We had the pandemic for 2 years. It stifled businesses in many states across the country, and we're just barely recovering from it. I was in Las Vegas, and my barometer was I was on the upper floors of the canal shops, which is part of the Venetian. And the last time I was there, I'd say about two-thirds, three-quarters of the shops were basically gone. Now the stores are mostly full, but what I've seen's happened along the theme you're talking about is that the bigger retailers, the luxury retailers, the Louis Vuittons, the Gucci's, all of them have expanded what were smaller stores into larger areas, but I haven't seen the smaller companies come back yet.
Yeah, and that's going to be a problem. I was just in Vegas last week, actually, because we're expanding into that area too. And I think you're right. I was over at Aria, and when you walk through their shops, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the Louis Vuittons, you're seeing the Mulatto's, you're seeing everything that's getting bigger. All those stores are getting bigger, but there was very few people actually in there shopping as well. And so, yeah, I think now we're looking at they're threatening that another wave of the pandemic is going to come back, and what's that going to do to us in the small business world?
Good question. All right, so solutions here. What are the solutions?
Well, I mean, the solutions to me is, you have to put more money into the small business. I mean, small business is the backbone of the economy. It always has been. I mean, we're talking, I think it's like 45% of the economy is driven by small business. And so you have to really look at programs that's going to help small businesses grow. And when those small businesses grow, more money's put into the economy, and that's how everything grows from the bottom up, really. right now they're looking at this kind of a top-down approach, which is kind of odd for a democratic system to be doing that, a Democrat regime or whatever you want to call it. But I think that's the solution: is you've got to look at better programs for small businesses that puts more funding into that instead of billions of dollars elsewhere. We could really fix our economy right here.
Yeah, but don't you think it's good to have a green economy?
Do I think it's good to have a green economy? I think it's premature for a green economy. I really do. I think you're looking at decades out, and I don't think that's doing any good right now. I really don't, at least not for me and my business.
Yeah, but climate change, it's destroying the country and the world, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of assumptions that are made around that, where we have to go green, we have to have electric cars, but then you look at the other side of the argument where electric cars are still powered by coal and natural gases, and it's kind of a funny situation that we have going on here. So I just think we don't have the infrastructure right now to set up a green economy. It's great that they're trying, but I think they're just going a little too far right now, and it's damaging the economy to a point where I hope we can get it back. But again, if we have this second wave of this pandemic and they start forcing everybody on lockdowns, it's probably going to get more ugly than it is now.
You think lockdowns are coming?
I mean, that's what I'm hearing. So, only time will tell, but they're talking about this new wave of COVID, and mask mandates are already happening in a couple states, and at one university I heard yesterday.
They're not going to do lockdowns again, Herman. I got to take issue with you. They might do the mask ridiculousness, but they're not doing lockdowns again. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I didn't go for that here where I live. We didn't go for the lockdowns last time. So, I guess a lot of the country did, though. They just did whatever they were told.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to try it. I wouldn't.
I just don't think it's going to happen, honestly, because the only reason it could happen was that all the states, to some extent, maybe South Dakota didn't do it, but everybody did a lockdown of some sort. Right. And the states that ended their lockdowns before the other states that kept them going had no worse mortality on a per capita basis, even less in Florida than they did in New York and Pennsylvania and other godforsaken places like that.
I agree with you. I completely agree with that. And I think we're in Colorado, and they had lockdowns. This is a Democrat-run state, but in my area, in my city, in El Paso County, it's more Republican side. So we didn't really go through the
ignored them, and they went away. See how that works? Right. But seriously, over half the states will not do a lockdown of any description. So that means that the other states do, and then that accelerates the flight of citizens out of there. I mean, hey, I'm in Florida. It's the worst thing that ever happened to this state. And the best thing, population went up 5 or 10%. And, we're still trying to deal with all the arriving residents. We still have a shortage of housing inventory. No, I think that is a pig in a poke. They might try the masking, but I think a lot of states won't even bother with that nonsense anymore either.
Yeah, and I travel a lot for my business, so I'm not looking forward to seeing what the airlines are going to do and seeing what the hotels are going to do, because I'm in different states all the time, and it's just interesting to see, like you said, how each state handles it very differently.
Yeah, this is a big red herring. They're getting ready to do something else, and this is what they're throwing at us to distract your attention from it. Hey, so 3 things the current administration could do tomorrow to help lift the burden on small business.
I think they've got to open up more funding for small business. They've got to create the credit lines that we need by reducing the interest rates. And I think we've got to open up more manufacturing lanes for us, for those of us that are in the manufacturing era. And so, it's, to me, if you just did those 3 things, that would help us tremendously.
All right. But, the problem is government did all those PPP loans, all the EIDL loans, grants, and like 15% of it got stolen.
Right.
Think we're going to be any better at it this time, Herman?
Probably not. I mean, it's the government. I mean, I spent 13 years in the government, and I know how corrupt it can be. And so, I don't think they can do better at it. but they have to figure out a way to get more funds into the small business owners. I think that PPP thing, that was kind of a joke where, they had billions of dollars stolen in that, where people were just buying cars and houses. And, I'm not sure. I didn't apply for that, so I'm not sure what the criteria was. But anyway, I mean, I don't know that they could do it better, but they definitely need to start doing something for it.
All right. Well, we agree with you there. Hey, Herman, website, way for people to connect with you on the web?
Yeah. Our company's hover.com, HUVR.com. And we've got some pretty interesting things going on for sure.
All right. Link in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Make sure you sign up for your free newsletter. Question for Herman, myself, email kl@kerrylutz.com. Herman, thanks so much for stopping by. Pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you, Kerry.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.